Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to DANDADAN episode 6, in which we will probably begin the quest for Okarun's balls, right? That's probably what's gonna happen, because the previous episode was mostly a transitionary episode into the next arc, which will probably be probably for sure, will be all about finding his balls because he lost them, or rather, Turbo Granny lost them. But yeah, let's start maybe with what exactly happened in the previous episode, because both a lot and not a lot has happened. First of all, we got a nice little bit of slice of lifey moments at school, and nice little bits of romance, which is very much welcome. And I know that the writer of DANDADAN, how did the story go? I think he was writing manga that was like super edgy and action packed and whatnot, and something like that. And his editor told him to read like 100 different shoujo mangas to expand his views a little bit, and he did. And they must have been good shoujo mangas because the romance and the slice of lifey bits in this show really do work. As I said in the previous episode, I believe I even titled it that: better romance than in many dedicated romance shows, for sure. And is it an achievement? Kinda, but at the same time, many romance shows is a fairly low bar, isn't it? In any case, yeah, they started at school, just going about their lives, essentially, right? And wanting desperately to talk to one another, unbeknownst to each other, right? The entire school day, Momo wanted to talk to Okarun because she wanted to talk about aliens, right? What do you think they eat? Where do you think they live? Do you think they have money, the currency, or right? She was super excited by that discovery. And Okarun, of course, wanted to talk to Momo a lot because she is his very first friend. So of course he would want to talk. But he was, of course, self-deprecating enough that at the beginning of the episode, as he was walking to school and Momo was waiting for him, he did not believe that she was waiting for him, but she was. But she was. At school, in class, Momo's friends, of course, started gossiping and started ribbing her a little bit about, right, why are you daydreaming? Is it a new boyfriend or something? Just when Okarun arrived, and the rumors intensified because, yes, a boy is involved indeed, not romantically yet, but still, and in their eyes, that's basically that's enough for them. Momo, of course, chased Okarun away, peer pressure and whatnot, said some hurtful words, or words that could have been interpreted hurtfully, and that's, of course, how Okarun interpreted them, because, again, his, self-deprecating nature. They were looking for each other a whole bunch, missing each other in a Scooby-Doo manner, but they eventually found each other. They shared a first kiss, although accidental and with their teeth clanking against each other, but still counts in my book, and counts in Momo's friend's book as well, and they will no doubt start spreading that rumor. But yeah, everything is fine between them now, and that's what matters most, right? Then they split apart. Yeah? No. I think that at some point, Okarun went to the bathroom and discovered that his balls are missing, and he needed to find Momo. But instead, what he found, or who found him, was one Aira Shiratori, a pink-haired menace of a girl who started talking to him, right? And then immediately started talking to her friends about how funny it is that she got such a wimp, such a random nerd just wrapped around her finger with just a couple of words. Uh, to her peril, Momo heard all of that, and she's possessive. She's very possessive of her man. So Ira got a wash basin or something to the head thanks to Momo's um, telekinesis, and some choice words basically establishing herself as the dominant female in Okarun's orbit. And I wonder where that's gonna go. Ira features plenty in the opening, so I wonder if she becomes a recurring character, perhaps some sort of a enemies to friends pipeline, maybe something like that. Maybe she's gonna get tied up um, into all the paranormal shenanigans, right? She's gonna get kidnapped by aliens or taken over by some sort of a ghost, and the Momo and Okarun are gonna have to help her, right? Maybe something like that is gonna happen. But right now she's quite a menace. That Momo finding Okarun and telling him she wants to go back home with him gave him a chance to tell her about his missing balls, which she found extremely hilarious, and which was something that Granny could help with, of course, thanks to her big ass fan. As it turns out, there was still a remainder of Turbo Granny left inside of Okarun, somewhere burrowed and not found by other means, neither the seals that Seiko placed all over the place, nor by anything else. But it was there. And they exorcised it. Well, not quite. They Momo used her telekinesis to rip that bit out of Okarun's body. It got transplanted into a Manekineko figurine, which came alive. And as it turns out, yes, that was Turbo Granny, and her consciousness is now trapped inside of the Manekineko, while her powers remain inside of Okarun. So when he's under heightened emotions, lots of anger or lots of fear or something like that, he manifests those powers and he gets a brand new henshin without a mouth guard, with some different look a little bit, I think. I'm not sure. The mouth guard was kind of concealing a lot, and now it's not there. And Turbo Granny revealed that she not so much hid his balls as she took them and then just kind of dropped them. So they're somewhere. And they made a deal, kind of sorta, that Turbo Granny is not gonna get her powers back if she doesn't tell them where the balls are. So it's in her best interest to work with them and help them find those balls, and maybe if they are gracious enough, she will get her powers back. Although that would be to everybody's peril, unless during the time that she is in her weakened form, she grows to genuinely like those kids and care for them, and when she gets her powers back, she's like, whatever, I'm just gonna go back, do my thing, be the vengeance for the girls who suffered, and I'm not gonna deal with you. I'm not gonna trouble you unless you encroach onto my territory again, in which case I'm gonna have to. But stay away. You stay out of my way. I'm gonna stay out of your way. We have a deal. Maybe, we don't know. But usually, whenever a villain or an antagonist of a story is weakened and forced to work or travel or live with the protagonist, with the heroes of the story, they usually kind of change their tune. I mean, look at what happened with GLaDOS in Portal 2, right? That's the first example that came to my mind. I don't know why, but it's the first one. And yeah, that's basically where it ended. We now have a brand new character established in our cast that might have lesser or higher relevance, we don't know. We have the goal of the next arc also established, finding Okarun's balls. Probably it's gonna be divided into like two arcs, I'd say, right? Finding his first ball, then finding his second ball to, I mean, they are two separate items, two separate artifacts, I guess. So, yeah, they're probably gonna be found separately in two separate arcs, which I guess is gonna fill the entire season, right? The season is what, 12, 13 episodes? 12. Yeah, it's the sixth episode today, right about midway through. 6, 7, 8 for the first ball, 9, 10, 11 for the second one, 12 for the finale summary kind of thing, or alternatively one episode of slice of life romancy things between the first ball and the second ball. However that sounds. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. Could very well be that they leave us hanging, and we need to wait for another season to complete the Okarun genitalia saga. I don't know. We'll see. But to see, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube, down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching DANDADAN episode 6 in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, golden balls. We're looking for Ferrero Rocher. Oh? I mean, yeah, golden and shiny. Sure. Could have been stolen by a yokai because of powerful energy. Could have been stolen by a human because gold and shiny. Right? Hmm. You should. Your power is at stake here. Yeah. Uh, uh, Momo's energy vision could have maybe helped. Yeah. Bull Intel. I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh, could be worth it learning how to control it, right? How to utilize it consciously, because if it goes off randomly, it could spell trouble. Oh, well, the rumors have started spreading. I don't think she would be interested. True. But I don't think she's interested. Yes. uh, very cute. Oh? No, not quite. I mean, she did have a lot of boyfriends, but she did not have sex with anyone. Oh? uh, establishing dominance. Nobody really noticed his henshin, though. I don't think. I mean, they would be freaking way much if they did. So, am I again correct in my previous theory that regular people just can't see it? Probably. Can they see Turbo Granny? Or can they just see a dead, still Mannequin Echo figurine? Or can they see it move? It's a trope. Fair. Yeah, of course. The temptation. Sure. Of course we would believe you. Yeah. Tell her that Turbo Granny escaped. Uh. Oh. He started to take notice. He can't stand the cuteness. And Turbo Granny is left to her own devices. You could say that. You're not denying he's your bae. Yeah? Ira? Gotta be Ira. And the nervous tick with her hair again. Of course, it's gotta be Ira. That's a very visual novel music. Damn. Yeah, sure. Oh? Huh. She can see her aura. Why? Suddenly? So, he's both. Yeah. So, coming into contact with the paranormal allows you to see the paranormal. Yeah? Something like that? And we know that's what matters the most. I was wondering where the opening is. So, they're gonna have to clue her in eventually, at some point or another. Hmm. Means she would be able to see Okarun's henshin. Means she would be able to see the Manekineko moving and speaking. means she might get tangled into some paranormal stuff, because the bowl, you gotta remember, is very enticing to paranormal beings as a source of power. So it wouldn't surprise me if some ghosts or yokai or maybe even aliens attacked her at some point. And only Okarun and Momo will be able to see that. And they will be the only ones able to help her. Well, not counting Seiko, right? But I'm assuming it's gonna happen maybe at school, maybe on their way back home, right? Something like that. They're gonna hear a scream, run up to where the scream was heard from, and they're gonna see a yokai attacking Aira. It's a very nice render of gold. That's bigger than 5 centimeters. Oh, so she witnessed the... Oh, and she can see it only when she's touching the bowl. Or when the bowl is in her possession. Okay, so it's not permanent. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as soon as she touches it, she can see supernatural phenomena. Damn, that's a pretty sight. Damn, that's a pretty picture. You have now found the first Dragon Ball. Find the second one and you're gonna get your wish. What equipment? Oh, she's gonna try to exercise Momo. uh, and what does it even mean, genuine, in the context of a cross? It's not the one Jesus died on, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. Huh? She sees a ghost. Huh. uh, okay. uh, okay, so she's also her own brand of stupid. She will be right at home with Momo and Okarun. She will be a perfect addition to their friend group. Eventually. Yeah. Enjoying a soba bread. Oh, she was gathering intel. Why not? I mean, they can be anywhere. Timera, goodbye. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, we have an explanation. Yeah, so they become a target. Interesting that ghosts can't necessarily see people who don't have paranormal abilities. Ah, No, no, you can't. But that's because she's not a, you know, she's not a demon or a vampire. Hmm. Yeah, they're gonna have to help her. Absolutely. Ah, a challenge to a duel. Mm-hmm. 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 She's gonna get annoying one way or another. You better believe it. Oh, you have Turbo Granny to help. Oh, yeah, you better go after them. That's an amazing place for two high school girls to meet up. An abandoned factory warehouse place. Zip ties? Damn. Is the cape necessary? Is the cape really necessary here? I don't think it's required for an exorcism. Damn! She's not fucking around. They're dead. Yeah, punch her with the ball. No, it's a golden testicle. Uh, yeah. Oh, hello, Okarun. Right on time. She is. Oh, oh, yeah. So the strange woman that Granny mentioned was this yokai. Hmm. Oh, here's the mouth guard. Of course. Again, someone trying to eat him. Oh, interesting. If she doesn't have control of her actual hands, she's finding it hard to control her ghostly arms. Hmm. Oh, what? Like she touched someone paranormal, saw her briefly, mistakenly called her mommy, and that's where it started? Yeah? Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Hello, Granny. Call Seiko. Acrobatic Sarasara. Of course. Of course. Well, let's see it happen. Get eaten. Oh, she absolutely would have. Oh, you can operate a pair of scissors or something, for sure. That's not acrobatics, that's just spinning. So, how are we getting out of this pickle? Okarun bursting out from within? She wanted to be eaten, didn't she? You don't exactly have powers right now, Granny. Hmm. True, yeah. Oh? Yeah, good question. What's going on? Oh, that's why it smelled oily. Okay. Are they not gonna burn as well? I love this track. Oh, so she just brings good luck. That's her power. uh, Turbo Granny's great. In the next episode. Ah, damn. Way too short of an episode. And yeah, we know what the Golden Ball is now. It's Okarun's ball, plural. I actually wonder now, can she interact? I mean, she can interact with world, right? She was able to close the lighter. But how do other people see it? We know that they can see the paranormal. Her existence is plenty paranormal, even in the mannequin echo form. Do they see those things just happen? Or do they actually see the mannequin echo move? Right? And that's a whole bunch of spoilers, so I'm not going to be looking at that. To a kinder world. Okay. I'm assuming this ghost right here, because I'm assuming it's a ghost, is maybe not a ghost, maybe some woman with paranormal powers that's down on her luck, and Ira showed kindness to her and touched her, and because of that she was able to see acrobatic Sarasara and call her mommy, and that's where everything started. Probably something like that. Let's watch this episode again, shall we? And we're starting with the balls. Of course. Spirits and yokai are drawn to stuff like that. Yeah, they believe they'll come back to life if they gather enough items with high life force. Okay, so spirits and yokai. So at least we know, or we can surmise, that aliens are not attracted to it. So we're probably going to be facing all sorts of yokai in the near future, and not like Serponians again, for example, right? I don't know, we'll see. Turbo Granny really works as this sort of a mascot character, you know? I usually, most often, more often than not, have an issue with mascot characters. I very rarely like mascot characters. They are usually more annoying than they're worth. They usually bring absolutely nothing to the story. They're most commonly just a source of lowest denominator slapstick comedy. Not in this case. In this case, the mascot works because it's the former villain, because, well, still a villain in a way, right? But the former enemy now turned mascot. Because of her demeanor, because of the fact that she's still relevant for the story, that she can be this sort of a mentor to them, essentially, right? She knows a bunch of stuff, and what she doesn't know she can Google. So she will be useful to have around. She actually works as a mascot here. And in recent memory, there are two mascot characters only, that I can tell with like wholehearted sincerity that I actually fucking love. One of them is Emul from Shangri-La Frontier, but that's because she barely counts as a mascot. She's a character in her own right. And two, Turbo Granny. But that's also because she's barely a mascot, she's a character in her own right. And I think that's the common denominator when it comes to mascot characters that I actually enjoy. They have to be a character first, a mascot second, right? And many shows, many stories in general, I feel don't exactly understand that. They create a mascot to create a marketable plushie, and that mascot doesn't really have a place in the story, doesn't really have a place in the team, so I guess we're gonna give that mascot some like funny haha moments so that they show and endear viewers to them, but it usually doesn't work, at least not for me. I know that studios would not be doing that if it didn't work, but it doesn't work for me. Turbo Granny and Emul too, though. Yeah, he does still have Turbo Granny powers within him. And it could really be useful if he got a little bit of tutoring on how to use them. I feel like Seiko might have been of help. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure. Turbo Granny would be of much help, for sure, but she's not going to be willing to help, at least not yet. Yeah, she is cute, and he never noticed that. He was just so stoked for having a friend that he just completely, right, the thought that she could be cute, the thought that she could be his love interest, all of that just no. It didn't matter to him. It didn't occur to him. What mattered the most is that he has a friend. That's great. The like, how did it go? Uh, Sweet cinnamon bun too pure for this world, right? Something like that, basically. Yeah, cinnamon bun, but we gotta remember that cinnamon is quite a spicy spice when you use a lot of it, and there's that spice. Hmm. So the effect of his powers still manifest IRL, right? It's not that he can only overpower ghosts, but when he's trying to overpower a human, it doesn't work. No, it still gives him a boost to strength, a boost to speed, a boost to all of that. But the visuals are not something that regular humans, can perceive. Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha. Which means that a situation where he's doing weird stuff in the middle of the field outside of the school, fighting the acrobatic Sarasara, and people would just see him jumping around like a fucking idiot, but in reality he's fighting. Yeah, it could happen. Cool. Yeah, he can't even focus on reading. Oh, and here's the Turbo Granny. I didn't notice Oh, no, I did. Of course I did. What am I talking about? Yeah, she appeared here. I felt that this is an earlier moment, and she just appeared here in the corner. Yeah, right? Like when he was not yet paying attention. I thought she appeared and I didn't see it, but that was like foreshadowing to her showing up later. But no, not quite. Yeah, of course she would say something like that. And of course, Turbo Granny would be tempting, but Okarun is not gonna be tempted. Cute, cute indeed. And now he started to notice, and yeah. He ain't my boyfriend either. Yeah, of course she had to clarify that. Yeah. And, right, the nervous tick, the, embarrassed and blushing, like, oh, Okarun really did fight for me. Kinda nervous tick, essentially. Cool. The god damn, the romance works in this show. It really fucking works. And here we have Aira. Uh, Again, complete with the visual novel kind of soundtrack, and Aira being one of the girls in a visual novel, probably the main one, right? Of course, because she's pretty, right? So of course she's the protagonist of every story. Yeah, by believing that a pretty girl likes them, they can live another day. I'm a pretty girl who's also kind and also very humble. Ah, she's a fun character. She's a really fun character. The rumor isn't spreading much. Harumph. And of course, she was able to see her powers. I was wondering when someone who's also able to see the paranormal is gonna appear, and how is that gonna happen. I was thinking that maybe someone is also gonna get possessed by an evil spirit or something like that, and they will be able to see the paranormal, and maybe a bit of that spirit is going to be left within them, so they're going to be able to permanently see it or something like that. I was expecting that maybe they're going to get like a transfer student who is a, I don't know, comes from a family of vampire hunters, or I expected something like that. But yeah, someone touched Okarun's ball, and they are now able to perceive the paranormal. I wonder what's gonna happen with the second ball. Uh, a yokai finding it would not really leave us much of a story, would it? Because presumably the yokai would just consume it to gain the power of it, or otherwise stash it somewhere. Well, if it were to stash that ball, then we could still look for it, but if it were to just consume it, then again, not much of a story to be had. Uh, but maybe it's gonna be another human who finds it. That would make for a much more interesting story, wouldn't it? Maybe this guy. Maybe this guy on the right. Right? Like he's shown in like juxtaposition with Aira. Maybe. Would be one hell of a coincidence for two people at the same school to find the ball, for sure. But just about maybe. Mm, does what does his school uniform look like? Is it the uniform of their school? He's turned back, so I can't really tell. Maybe he's from another school. I don't know. We'll see. A marble, yeah. The moment she picked it, she was able to perceive. And the moment she dropped it, the exact frame it left her hand, she stopped being able to see it. Cool attention to detail. Cool attention to detail. Okay, so we now know when did Turbo Granny do it, and it was as like straight before she was destroyed. Healing Segen und Ban Spruche? I don't know what it says. Holy blessings and banishment prayers, apparently in German. I hope you can read German, Ira. And a cross lighter. Oh, she's a whole new brand of stupid, isn't she? That's great. That's great. Again, she really is a fun character. So many fun characters in this show, from Turbo Granny to her. Uh, yeah. There's a possibility that a human and not a yokai picked them up. Indeed. If a human picked it up, it might awaken their spiritual powers. Uh, okay, so awaken their spiritual powers. Does it mean permanently? Because far as we can tell, Aira was able to perceive the paranormal only when she was in contact with the ball. So if Okarun takes it away, she stops being, any sort of paranormal herself. Unless it, like, leaves a mark in a way where you can use those abilities, but it's not as easy as using them with a ball, right? Like, you're touching the ball and all of your abilities just work by default, are all turned on. You drop it and you retain those abilities, but you have to consciously use them, right? Because you no longer have a huge source of power that would keep them up all at the same time 24/7, right? You gotta put effort into using them. Maybe something like that. The fact they can see spirits means the spirits can see them too. That's a good thing to know. If you see spirits, the spirits can see you as well, which would explain why. Okarun was attacked by Turbo Granny before having any sort of contact with the paranormal. So how was he able to see the Turbo Granny, and how was Turbo Granny able to see him? Or did contact with Momo count? But if so, then presumably all of her friends would also be able to perceive the paranormal and be perceived by it. So probably not it. But yeah, why was Okarun able to see Turbo Granny, and why was Turbo Granny able to see him? That's actually a very good question, isn't it? Where are you, DANDADAN? There it is. If regular people can't see spirits, how was Okarun able to see Turbo Granny? Unless it's something like, super strong ghost, super strong yokai can just manifest like that and can be seen by people who are not necessarily paranormal themselves. Maybe. Which would explain why there would be sightings of like the Flatwoods monster, for example, not necessarily by people who are any sort of paranormal, because it's so powerful that it can show itself even to regular folk. I don't know. Who's the strange woman? So Turbo Granny meant the Sarasara, the Silky, as the strange woman, right? Or did she mean Aira? They are not fucking around. Just tackle, zip ties. Damn. But yeah, Momo is not fucking around either, and she just pretty sure she at least gave them a concussion. If not, just outright fucking killed them. Damn, girl. Like, those things are bent and shattered. You did not throw them lightly. And she's rubbing Okarun's balls on her face. Essentially. She's not the strange woman. Yeah, there is another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, just appearing within the span of 2 frames, 2 or 3 frames, and then disappearing, I think, within the same amount. No, just things change in the area. Yeah, called out to mommy as she was carried by her father, presumably. Divorce? Probably. Safe to assume. Divorce. She went with her father. Her mother was left behind, maybe. Maybe she was actually saying goodbye to her mother or calling out to her mother, but the Silky misinterpreted it as directed at her. Something like that. And we have a hint at an interesting quote-unquote childhood that Aira had, which will no doubt in some capacity explain why she's kind of a bitch nowadays, right? It's probably gonna explain her like narcissism, her superiority complex, stuff like that. It's probably some sort of a coping mechanism, right? Probably something along those lines. Yeah, I wanna go home, of course. Uh, and just like that, gobbled up. And here we see a very different scene. It's not Aira being taken by her father, calling mommy. It's Aira. Aira mistaking a random woman for her mother, calling her mother, the woman dying and becoming silky. Something like that. Let's see if acrobatic silky is actually like a thing. Acrobatic silky. DANDADAN wiki. Yeah, I'm more interested in like a Wikipedia article maybe. Yeah, but all I can see is yeah, DANDADAN wiki. What about acrobatic Sarasara? Yeah, same. Oh, urban legends. There it is, urban legends wiki on fandom, which sucks, but we don't have anything better. Origins can be traced back to early 2000s. Known as Sera Sera. Story from Fukushima Prefecture. She's often described as red dress, having long black hair, pale skin, and an eerie demeanor. May appear lost or in need of help. Yeah, there was a person who was appearing lost or in need of help, and Aira called out to her. She then proceeds to perform an acrobatic act. She may even challenge the witness to perform similar feats, which they are unable to accomplish. Then she vanishes. Those who witness Sarasara's acrobatic performance are cursed and will face misfortune or even death. The consequences vary, but often include accident, illness, and untimely demise of the witness or their loved ones, which might explain the divorce, kinda. The legend usually ends with a warning for the listeners not to help or interact with Sarasara if they encounter her, as doing so will bring about the curse. Right. So here we have the addition of like being obsessed with being a mother, which if we take how spirits and demons and stuff like that are usually created in Western mythologies, for example, it would mean that she is created from a woman who lost her child somehow and now is desperate to find another child. So kind of a mixture of that original Sarasara myth with like something no like actual specific creature comes to mind that is born of a woman who lost a child. No, Lataviets is male, so not that. Striga? No. No, Strigas are not born of a lost child, they're something else. Regardless, right? It has an element of that. In any case. I thought assaulting humans was against the rules. Yeah, it is against the rules, but evil spirits are famous for not particularly caring much about the rules. That's why they are evil spirits, aren't they? And also, Aira is kind of spiritual now, right? By holding the ball. So, what would happen if she dropped the ball? Would Sarasara be unable to interact with her? That's a good question, isn't it? Yeah, that could have been something that would have saved her potentially. Although maybe since she is already in contact with the paranormal, right? In contact with the Sarasara, then maybe that also counts. I don't know, I'm not sure. It's acrobatic silk, yeah. This is a great zoom. They're doing the zoom on Marcial's face in Dungeon Meshi. I don't care about rookie nobodies, of course. Granny has some amazing faces, by the way. I'm a chosen one because I'm too pretty, of course. She doesn't seem to have the ball with her unless she like hid it in her clothes. Yeah, she wanted to be swallowed. I was wondering why did she want to be swallowed, right? Maybe to connect with Okarun, or maybe to burst from within her, or something like that. But apparently, she noticed that the cross is a lighter, and figured she can burn the Sarasara from within. And at the same time, the Sarasara did not remove her hair from inside of her, which is a lot of coincidences coinciding. A beckoning cat supposedly has the ability to beckon over some good fortune. I wonder if this will be like Turbo Granny's power now that she is in the form of Mannequin Echo, just bringing good coincidences or something like that. But you coincidentally ate your own hair. Yeah, such fortuity becomes inevitability because I'm here. I wonder if it's actually a thing. I wonder if it's actually how it works. I love this little bit here. Just kicked it close. Strike a pose. Amazing music to boot. Uh, Time for the counterattack, yeah. Remove the zip ties from Momo first, and then go full throttle, and the Turbo Granny is still posing in the background. I wonder, the balls contain a lot of power inside of them. I wonder if Okarun taking the ball and like placing it back, or however that's gonna work, is gonna give him a boost in strength somehow. Uh, Restoring each ball gives Okarun a power boost. I wonder, maybe the key to defeating Sarasara here would be to take that ball, stick it back, get maybe a temporary boost, right? Like eat chew through the power that's within it in a short amount of time, defeat the Sarasara, and then go back to normal, whatever is the new normal for Okarun. Edie. Yeah, I wonder how is Granny interacting with the world, right? Like, how do people see her picking up the cat here? How do people see, like, regular people, how do they see her picking up the groceries and stuff like that? Yeah, like, are those eggs just levitating, or, right? I wonder. Cool. Yeah, this is gonna be significant. Uh, pa, 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 pa. Ira. Hmm. What exactly, Ira? Interacted with a paranormal person, or the person to become Sarasara in her childhood, and Ira comes from a broken home. Yeah, those are my main two theories regarding Ira. Ira's behavior narcissism and superiority complex are a coping mechanism. This I'm pretty fucking sure of. We just don't know what exactly she's coping with, right? Alrighty. That was episode 6 of DANDADAN, and it was a good one. It was a good one. I was wondering how exactly are we gonna include Aira in the cast, because I was pretty damn sure we are gonna include her. And the fact that Okarun's balls give whoever picks them up paranormal ability, right? That really works for adding 2 more people to the cast. It really does. It really makes sense as well, right? Like, we're not doing the mysterious transfer student, we're not doing someone awakening their powers suddenly, we're not doing, I don't know, uh, someone being like, doctors told me it was. What? Fuck, I lost the word. Like, the doctors told me it was some sort of a psychological issue, and mommy gave me pills, but they didn't work. But I told them they work, but they didn't. But they didn't want her to worry. But I see the spirits, and you're telling me it's not my, you know, psychiatric issue, but they exist, right? Like, we're not doing any sort of convoluted stuff like that. We're doing, you pick up the paranormal item, you gain paranormal powers. Cool. Very simple, very to the point, and could mean that basically anybody can be involved. I like that we get a confirmation that the paranormal is not seen by the people outside, by the regular people, but the effect of the paranormal very much can affect the real world, right? Okarun's increased strength allows him to overpower that random dude, but his henshin is not seen. We already knew that to a degree, that Momo's telekinesis is able to move things in physical space, but nobody can see them. So I guess we already had that confirmation. But I was really kind of focused on Okarun's henshin, right? Are people gonna be able to see that? Are we gonna have to be sneaky with using it? Or is it, right? Or maybe more urban legends gonna be born of a dude with flowing hair and a mouth guard running around the city or something like that? But no, regular people don't see that, which gives us a lot of potential for hilarity. And it would be weird if the author did not use that potential, so I'm pretty damn sure they are gonna do that. I like that we get a little bit more insight into Aira, right? That she's not just this flat, one-dimensional bitch of a character. She's not just a one-off kind of school rival, right? Completely oblivious to the deeper, grander things going on around her. No, she fits, right? She's a bit of a ditz, she's a bit of a klutz, she's a bit stupid, just like Momo and Okarun, which makes her fit perfectly within the team. She has some baggage for sure, she has some past that might explain her issues, right, and her behavior. And she's just about fun enough for me to be able to actually excuse her bitchiness in a way, right? Like, because there are characters who behave badly, who behave bitchy, and they have no redeeming qualities. They're just a bitch, and that's it. That's all about them. It's not the case when it comes to Aira. She's narcissistic, she has some sort of a superiority complex, absolutely. But at the same time, I can absolutely see her being fun to be around, being fun on the screen. There are plenty of characters who also are pretty narcissistic, have some sort of superiority complex as well, but they are just fun to have around. To not look far, Kanye Seiya from Amaburi, right? Kinda, sorta. Uh, what's his face? The dude from Arifureta, right? The main character. I forgot his name, it eludes me. Right? There are plenty of people who behave like her, but are fun to have around, and Aira is like that. And yeah, I'm gonna be waiting for more of her exploits. I'm gonna be waiting for her to become completely obsessed with the paranormal and start hanging around Momo and Okarun because of that, because they're the only people she can talk about. She can talk to about it, right? That's gonna be the pull that pulls her into their orbit, and eventually, not fast, not quickly, but eventually, they're gonna make friends. I feel the ribbing, the ribbing kind of friend, right? The kind of friend where you don't need enemies when you have a friend like that, but a friend nonetheless. I can see plenty of tension, comedic tension, mostly between Momo and Aira about Okarun. I can see Okarun being oblivious to that, but still all three of them sticking around. That's gonna be fun to see. She's a fun character. She's a very fun addition. Anything else about this episode in particular? Not really, I don't think. Cool fight. That hasn't really fully started yet. I'm waiting for the next episode and the proper, good and proper fight, which means that episode 7 is going to be the good and proper fight with Sara. Episode 8 is probably going to be the fallout and going back to school and Aira trying to hang around Momo and Okarun. Episode 8, the second ball, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. But right now, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. But you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that in the comments below. No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord if you like. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only DANDADAN but also Arifureta, Shangri-La Frontier, Mecha Ude Mahonare, Mao 2099, and plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when those videos go up and when I go live, because I stream sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps the channel a lot. And with all of that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Zarene, Dr. Watt, Akamaser, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to fight a Sara.